sign, you're still tuned to your humanitarian journalism portal. And joining us next is Mr. Willem Els, is coming from the ISS, Institute for Security Studies. And we're going to be talking about a really interesting discussion, a discussion that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have engaged in and are really concerned about. According to a study, South Africa, you witnessed a noticeable surge in both people and goods entering and exiting the country. The surge has, of course, its implications, and we're going to be unpacking them with Mr. Willem Els. He's joining us on StreamYard. Mr. Els, thank you so much for joining us. For joining us. Just quickly, this noticeable surge in goods and people, making their way in and in between our borders, knowing and understanding the challenges that we have at our borders. What implications does this come with?
Good morning to you. Traditionally we have a tremendous surge of an influx of people just after the festive season or after your long weekends, your Passover weekends, and other long weekends that we have in our country. A lot of the people then try to get back into the country, so there's a huge surge. What we have at the moment, we've got the new Border Management Authority, a new broom, it sweeps very clean. Obviously they wanted to do the right thing. They always want to do the right thing. So it slowed down the processes from normally where it was just business as usual before they started or they took over. Another thing that we also see is or notice is, that about 1% of our GDP is going lost to revenue due to screening and a lack of screening at our border posts, especially our seaports and our land ports. So that's a tremendous amount of money that is going lost into the system. And where we see that the BMA is trying to plug that hole, but currently it seems to me that they are a bit overwhelmed.
I think it was around last year, Minister Aaron Motsoaledi, mentioned that there's this multi-billion rand, project to upgrade, six of South Africa's border posts. Is that what we need right now? More money being pumped into, South Africa's borders, or there must just be a willingness from leadership to try and improve a very critical, I think, point of South Africa that impacts a lot of things, as you mentioned, trade, security. Do we really need more money? I mean, we saw, I think it was around a year or two ago, when Minister of Public Works at the time, did this multi-million rand fence around our borders, particularly in Beitbridge, and they didn't yield any results. The fence was cut down. People were still going through unprocessed. Do we really need more money to fix our borders? Is more money a solution, or there should be just a change and an overhaul in leadership?
Yes, I think you touch here a very important point. It starts from the top. The fish rots from the top. We need leadership. We need leadership to that can guide, a leadership that can strategize, and also we need leadership that can get rid of the endemic corruption within leadership, and also all the way down to food sold rebels. You mentioned the fence. The fence was a huge disaster. It is gone. That is not there anymore. It's been stolen. It is because of a lack of planning, maybe not very good advice to them at the time. In the past, South Africa used to have quite an effective fence in that area, specifically around the border post that you mentioned. It was a lot of infrastructure investment into that. It was very well managed. Your infrastructure is only as good as the management of the infrastructure, and that, unfortunately, after '92, it really went to the ground, and now they're trying to revamp that. We see also down in KZN near Kosi Bay, they're actually erecting a barricade of a concrete wall that they're actually putting up there to try to curb this illicit flow of not only people but also illicit goods, and that is anything from your counterfeit goods to human smuggling, and also to your smuggling out of the stolen vehicles into Africa. South Africa is losing a lot. We're losing more than 6 billion rand per year just to vehicle theft and vehicles that are leaving the country. So all of those things, it contributes to the hardships in our economy, and also to the insecurity within our people. So, firstly, yes, we need investment, we need more money, but no, that more money, if that money is not governed correctly, if we continue with the culture of impunity for corruption and corrupt officials, we're not going to get anywhere. Then that money, the infrastructure needs to be well planned with a very, very good strategy, and we need to look at capacitating our border posts, because our border posts are just completely overwhelmed with the amount of traffic, especially over the peak periods.
And just I think on our side, we can have these multifaceted efforts to try and fix our borders. Let's touch a bit on our neighbors, the countries that we share borders with. Is there willingness for them to work with us? Because I'm pretty sure if the issue is theft, it affects both ways. Is there willingness from countries such as Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, Lesotho, to make this effort to fix our borders a very impactful one, because it just can't be on South Africa's side. We do know that South Africa is the economical hub of the region, but I'm pretty sure the porous borders does affect the nations around us. And from what you've observed, are they willing to work together with us to try and fix this problem?
Of course, you mentioned that South Africa is not an island. We are part of the SADC region. And of course, these are regional dynamics, because remember, those smuggled people, the illicit good that is coming to our borders, they are crossing their borders as well. So effective policing in all the different countries in terms of border security, but also, of course, of policing within the countries, that will go a long way to solve our problems. And we have to take hands. Within SADC, we've got different protocols to govern these things. But what we noticed is that these protocols are being drafted. It is being implemented and ratified. But also what we see that doesn't happen the moment those protocols are put in place and they are ratified. It seems that we tend to forget to that. There's not a culture of implementation of the structures that are in place. If we revisit all those structures and every country effectively start to implement that, I think we will go a long way towards solving this problem.
And just lastly, before I let you go, what would you say, could be the immediate solutions to fix the issue for our porous borders? Because it has been an ongoing issue. It's been going on for such a long time. It's having such a negative impact, not just on safety, but also, I think, perception. A country as big as South Africa and as powerful as South Africa on the continent, surely one of the first things you should be getting right are your borders.
Of course, yeah. I think it's time for South Africa to put up their hand as a leader, not only in the community, in the region, but also on the continent. We've got a borderline of almost 5,000 kilometers. That is just your land borders. We've got more than 53 crossing points or land ports, and then also your 11 airports and your 8 seaports that need to be policed and effectively policed. First of all, I think we need to look at capacitating them, and also, it's no use to just throw bodies to one of their problems. You have to also equip them with the right equipment in order to do their work. And one of the things that we can look at, because we all know that corruption is endemic, we should look at embracing technology in order to curb corruption. We're never going to completely eradicate it, but we can curb it to acceptable or more acceptable levels. And one of the things it's a small thing is wherever you see that your security officials are being equipped with body cameras, there's a change in attitude, a change in conduct. That is where they can start. They can start by embracing the technology, but also one thing that we need to understand is we also, in the medium term and long term, have to invest in infrastructure. It is unacceptable that you have a port like the Lebombo port, where you have queues of trucks of up to 50 kilometers, taking them 2 days to cross the border without any screening of the freight because there's just no time. They're just too pushed to get that the trucks across the border, and a lot of illicit activities are ongoing, and because they are exploiting the inability of our state actors to perform their duties.
Mr. Willem Els there, thank you so much for joining us. I think you give really important insights there. Hopefully, our borders will be gotten straight before it gets out of control. We've seen a lot of countries, that don't get their borders straight, have major problems, especially, with terrorism and all sorts of things making their way in and out of the country. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That was Senior Training Coordinator on Terrorism and Explosive-Related Incidents at the Transnational Threats and International Crimes Program at the Institute for Security Studies, Mr. Willem Els, talking to us about the issues of our porous borders. Very important issue, I think, specifically for me. I mean, looking at South Africa, the way, we've positioned ourselves, not only on the continent, but, the whole world. You're seen as a leader, innovator, a country with, so much to give to the world, a country that's seen by many, as a beacon of hope and, and an example of, a democracy and a flourishing, democracy that is. But you can't get your borders right. Just one thing, just your fence. Just to keep your citizens safe, to make sure that trading is done legally and nothing that should be entering the country does enter the country. So I think we'll talk until we're tired when it comes to the issue of our borders. When you have some politicians saying illegal migrants must find creative ways to enter the country, and they're canvassing for your vote. They want you to vote for them in 2024, but they make statements like that. So yeah. So South Africa, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're still keeping with the theme of elections. We know that in a few months' time, 3 months, hopefully, I'm sure the president will be announcing soon. We'll be heading over to the polls where South Africa will be voting, and we'll be getting to know another party, another new party that's going to be contesting the 2024 elections. It's called Shiluva. Shiluva is, Tsonga or Shangani for flower. We'll be talking to their leader, Mr. Bongani Baloyi. We know him. He left Action SA to start this new party. He'll be chatting to us about their manifesto, them contesting the elections. What do they bring, to a very congested, I should say, political landscape, South African political landscape, rather. So yeah, going to take a quick break. When we come back, President and founder of Shiluva, Mr. Bongani Baloyi, will be joining us.